it's Raquel Bowman here, and today I'm here to create a new layout using the April hip kits. And what I'm going to be using on this layout today is this cut file, and I think this one was one of Ashley's cut files for April. And I'm pretty sure that this is one that, as long as you're a member of the hip kit site, you can download this and use it. And then this here is just a photo of my kitties, and they were doing some craft at Easter time. They had pipe cleaners and pom-poms and all sorts of things, and they had a really nice time and did this beautifully and quietly and just enjoyed themselves. So I wanted to document that. And my idea with this cut file is I've seen so many different examples of how to use it, and I wanted to try and back it with pattern paper, but a little bit differently. So when I saw this paper, I adored it in the kit, and I had a thought when I was going through my papers for this layout that maybe I could position this heart pattern paper in a way where it only was backed on part of the heart. And then I found this soft pink colour, which of course I love because I love any sort of pastel light colour, and I thought that I could back the remaining part of the cut file in this soft pink. Now the pink coordinates with this heart because the heart has a pink in it, so that will work. I did look on the opposite sides of lots of the papers, and I just felt there was a red that could have worked, but I felt like it was going to be a bit too bold, especially seeing as though I've got pinks in the table and the craft that they're doing. So I thought that I would probably have the majority of it maybe this pink, as you can see, and then back this top section of the heart of the cut file heart with this heart pattern paper. So it's got a little bit of busyness with this heart pattern with lots of the colours. And then I thought that what I could do once I start embellishing is tie those colours into my embellishments. So I had a quick flick through even these ones, and because there's navy in there and green, it means that so many of these embellishments will work with this layout now. So the embellishing process will be quite nice. This one's cool, Make Magic Happen, that would work nice, considering that the colour palette is so varied because of all of the different coloured hearts. So I really don't know what else I'm going to do yet, but I do know that I think that these Amy Tan rub-ons will work well. These will work well. Apart from backing my cut file, that design-wise, that's all that I have in my mind so far of what I wanted to do. And then I think that I'll just, as my usual sort of process goes, I'll do the thing that I've sort of got in my mind as an idea, and then I'll take it from there and just see where this takes me once I've done that. I might find that I'm not sure about this photo, and I did grab out a couple of other photos. So this is when our little dog was a puppy, and she's still only a puppy now. She's not even one yet, but she was tiny here. Look how cute she is. It's Lola. So I thought that could go because you've sort of got this blue in her background. Then I have one of my husband and my two kids, which I thought was nice, and it's a quite light and bright photo, so that would work. And then I've got one of my son just colouring in, which is just black and white, so that can work with anything. So I think what I'll do is I'll back this cut file, and then I will make a decision on where I'll go next, and I'll speed you up and take you along with me. So I grab out my pencil, and then I put the right sides down and I trace around just with a grey lead pencil the area of the cut file that I want to show. And the front side, or the good side that I want you to see, is that pink side there, and it goes on a diagonal. Then what I'll do is I'm using my fine line bottle, and I use that yellow bottle because I like the thickness of the tip a little bit more than the blue one. And I just dot that onto all the main points in the cut file to adhere that down. I do the same with the heart paper, and I'm quickly going to pop you in real time again. Okay, so I have created my die cut, and as you could see from my footage, I made a big boo-boo when I cut it. I don't know why, but for some reason I cut along the completely wrong line that I had traced. So I ended up piecing this in 3 pieces. It's turned out okay in the end, but it did take me a little bit longer to do this than I'd planned. I've got a heap of embellishments scattered around me, and I've also completed my layering on my photo. So what I have here is one of the Project Life cards matting my photo. It's sort of got a lime green diagonal stripe. Then I have a little piece from the ephemera pack, which is just a cute little scalloped border. I have a piece of the Elle Studio grey paper behind that mat. Then I have some vellum on either side, and I have some photo corners of that text paper by Elle Studio. I've popped a couple of the little clips that you get in the kits at the top, and then my plan is to pop this up in this corner here. And when I'm thinking of embellishing this layout, because I have a natural sort of diagonal line which is running from where the cut file is sectioned with the pattern paper, as you can see there, I feel like it would be only natural to flow my embellishments in that direction and follow that line, because as a viewer to this page, my eyes automatically get drawn to that line. So if I cluster embellishments on that diagonal, it will just bring your eyes hopefully to the focus of my page, which is my photo and my journaling, which I will place around that area as well. So what I've gathered is I've found this Make Magic Happen tag and this cute little tag from the Chamel pack, and I was going to do a bit of a cluster around here, but I've decided to pop my title, which is made up of the Pink Fresh alphabet. And then I thought what I might do is sort of weave these around here, something like that, and I will journal underneath here. And I'm just going to be journaling about how my kids love to create and make together. I do have these two here, which I thought I might be able to do a smaller cluster without taking away from my title, but I also need to leave myself room for my journaling. So I'm not positive about the size of this one, but some of these other bits and pieces might be able to go there. So if I pop that there, that would work. The balloons not so much, but we could work with those and move those around if need be. I have cut a few of these words from the Elle Studio paper, and I just love that typewritten look, and I think that they're really sweet, and you can sort of make them a bit of a embellishment on its own just from the papers. And what my thought is now is I definitely need some more embellishing, and I thought that what I would do was use some of these rub-ons, especially these here because they've got the green, the pink, the yellow, the red from these hearts, and I would rub onto my white cardstock some of these designs, fussy cut around them and use them as a die cut. So that's my next step, and then from there I will decide what to do after that. So as I mentioned, I am going to begin to rub on a couple of those flowers onto that plain white cardstock, and basically this will just create my own little die cut pieces. And I will do this sometimes when I like to be able to, and when I want to be able to move embellishments around. So it means that I don't have to commit. If I rub on straight onto a page, it means that I'm committing to where that is going, because once you rub it on, you're not moving it away. So if I pop it onto white cardstock or whatever else you might use, it means that you can move it and manipulate it around and make sure that you're happy with the placement. So I've added just a grouping of flowers to that bottom cluster, and then I'm going to rub this second one on, which is a smaller grouping of the flowers, and I will pop that right underneath my photo once it's cut out. And there was a cute little extra bit as well. So you can see there I've popped it under the photo, and now I'm looking through the rub-ons to see if there were any extra ones that I thought I might be able to add to the page. So that Better Together I thought would be perfect underneath my photo. And then I'm just cutting out a couple of hearts and flowers, and I also cut out this Love This speech bubble, and I'm going to fussy cut around that and use that as an embellishment as well on my page. I just thought the colours went really well, and it's an easy sort of generic sentiment that can go on any page really, as long as the colours work. So I'm popping that next to my photo at the top there. Then what I'm doing is I'm taking everything off as I do and putting the foam onto the back of my die cut to add some dimension. So I find that it's easier to do that with a double-sided tape. I'm using that No Yoking Shimmers spray just to add a bit of some splatters to the background and just add a bit of extra detail. And then what I'm going to do is map my photo, adhere my photo to my die cut. You could see that I've added just a tiny little spot of foam in one of the bottom corners, and that's just so that the photo mat is even in dimension along the die cut piece. My title I'd popped onto wax paper, so I'm just transferring that across. And then what I'll also do is grab that really cute little banner from the Pink Fresh pack and pop that underneath on that same diagonal line. Now I'm going to work on that bottom left hand side cluster. So on that tag I add a bit of crochet thread, which is the perfect thickness for a small tag like that, and I'm going to pop a little bit of foam onto part of this tag from Chamel, Make Magic Happen. Well, not tag, it's just an ephemera piece, isn't it? So I pop some foam under that, and then I'm going to weave this flower, and I adhere that straight to the page, but I'm going to weave that around those pieces. So as I've said before, I do like to sort of weave and tuck things under each other and give extra detail when I am making some embellishment clusters. I add another rubber foam piece as well to that little cluster or grouping of embellishments. And I'll apologise if you can hear my puppy in the background. I am well away from the puppy, but she seems to be very noisy today, so I apologise if you can hear her. I'm rubbing on that Better Together sentiment, and I think it just looks super sweet there. And what I will do is add a few more things to that grouping of embellishments under the photo as well. So there's that floral piece. And then I have this little word strip that I had mentioned that I cut before from that Elle Studio paper, so I'm popping that down the bottom of my photo as well. Then I end up putting that flare in that top grouping where the balloons and the love this is. I like how that turned out. I knew I wanted to use it on the page, but I kept moving its placement, but it sort of went with the circular theme of the balloons and the speech bubbles, so I thought it went there pretty well. And then I've tipped out some of these cute little acrylic stars, and I'm using those on the page, just a bit like an enamel dot. I finish off now by just adding some extra rub-ons to those 3 main clusters. So the clusters that I'm working on are that bottom left corner, the top right, and that bottom right of the photo where I'm adding smaller embellishments. Then I start flicking through some of my other embellishments and things to see if anything would work, but I couldn't quite find what I was after or whether I needed anything else. And now I'm finishing the page completely by adding my journaling. So for me, most of my layouts, you might notice, will have some journaling and will tell a story. So my hope is that one day when my kiddies are older, that they can look back at their albums, hear what was happening or what my thoughts were or what we did, and reflect on those moments together from reading what I've written. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for visiting my YouTube channel and checking out my layout for hip kits, and I will be back soon with some more. Bye everyone.